You know who made it.
Live from LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and who knows, maybe some other channels. It's Revening's Whiskey Wednesday. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday, revenue party people out there scrolling the world of social media. Thanks for stopping by. We've got some hot topics, hot prizes, and hot guests for you tonight. So let's get right into it with some quick, brief announcements. First of all, be sure to subscribe to the Whiskey Wednesday newsletter. You can do so by going to reventing.com and you'll find it there. There'll be a pop-up that says subscribe, so be sure to join there. You saw the topics on the intro video, but this is what we're getting into tonight. We've got cultivating your authentic presence. Just wait until you hear about this from Julie tonight, who's joining us. You'll meet her here in just a moment. And then from messaging chaos to messaging clarity, you're going to want to listen to Zach on this tonight because he's going to be teaching us what we need to know to have a clear message on our marketing. And that will, of course, help our sales. And then we have our intermission. We've got two really important announcements during our intermission. And then we'll be back touching base on some of the same topics with messaging and personal branding. So make sure that you stay tuned. Of course, we do have prizes. So throughout the show, make sure you're commenting to enter to win. We've got hashtag data for prize 1, hashtag cold calling for prize 2. You're going to want to tag Proposify for prize 3 and hashtag Whiskey Wednesday for prize 4. And I'll show you what those are in just a second. But before I do so, if you want to share a tip with Whiskey Wednesday, please press pause and you can scan this QR code here to leave $1 or $2. We love to see, anything coming in from the audience. So let us know that you're there watching and you care. And then, of course, everything you're seeing done tonight is done on StreamYard, and I am a StreamYard affiliate. So I would love to help you get signed up. You can use my affiliate link and get a little discount, and then I get a cut too. If you can't find the link here, the QR code's not working, just go to reventing.com and you will find it there. And of course, if you like my pink suit over here that you see in all my marketing materials or any of the clothes I wear on Whiskey Wednesday, then that all comes from Latote. You all know I love technology. I am a SaaS gal and I get my clothes from a curated app. That's right. I rate things based on size and style, and then they send me things that I will like because I love technology. And here's a free box for you so you can scan that QR code. And this is just for the ladies, unless, anybody can really wear any of these clothes. So check it out. And then prize one, we've got hashtag data is going to enter you to win 1,000 B2B email data credits free from Data Ghost. And then 1 year of Lavender Pro that's free for 1 year. This is an AI tool that's going to level up your sales email game. And then, of course, we've got the new prize here from Task Minions. You're definitely going to want to try to check this one out. So Task Minions, they're helping me with all of the virtual assistant work that I have going on here at Whiskey Wednesday. So big shout out to Chandra and all of the help that he is giving me. But Task Minions has been so great to partner with Whiskey Wednesday and offer a prize. So they'll either give you 500 human validated contacts or 10 hours of virtual assistant support. And of course, if you've won any Whiskey Wednesday prizes or you win these tonight, please be sure to make a post about it because it really helps me and it helps the brands. Prize two, hashtag cold calling. This will get you a headset from Headset Advisor. Hello, Headset Advisor. If you have heard of Headset Advisor, let's give them some love. Brandy Baum, if you're there in the comments, everybody give Brandy Baum, Drew Merritt some love over at Headset Advisor. They're doing some really great things, and I really appreciate them. I know the audience does. People are always really excited to win a headset. And then I just heard from Sarah Hanks, who won Tom's 30-minute cold call coaching, that it was really good. So you're going to want to enter hashtag cold calling in the comments to win this one. Prize three is your Proposify swag pack. And speaking of, I love Proposify. This is the proposal tool I use. We were just talking about this pre-show. It's very marketer friendly because I can drag and drop video and images and other content into a proposal. So for me, Proposify works really well, and I'm really grateful for Proposify for being the sponsor tonight. And of course, tag Proposify in the comments to enter to win the swag pack. And last, but definitely not least, I'm very excited to share these prizes from our guest tonight, and they'll be on to also tell you a little bit about them. But you're going to want to put hashtag Whiskey Wednesday to enter to win a 90-minute high-performance intensive. This is coaching with Julie Hruska. And I hope I'm saying that right. I should have asked her before the show. But you know what? If you're not following her on LinkedIn, you need to go do so. Not only does she have over 80,000 followers, it just goes to show that she's putting out really great content there. But she has a lot of excellent posts. I've been watching them, and you actually gain value from them. So there's a lot of people here on LinkedIn, a lot of coaches, but not a lot of them, in my opinion, have been able to really harness this platform. And so I'm really excited to bring on Julie tonight because she has definitely done it so in a really great way. And then, of course, we've got message clarity over here from Zach Messler, and that's worth $1,000. I should have mentioned that Julie's is worth $1,000 as well, but that's $1,000 for a message clarity assessment with Zach Messler. So real quick, next week we have Brianna Doe and Brad Powell coming on. This is going to be an exciting episode, so I hope you can make it. And without further ado, I would love to bring on our guests. It looks like one of them may be having some mic issues, so I am going to bring on Julie. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. Thank you for being here.
Jessica, thank you so much for having me. I was telling you ahead of the show that I'm just so excited to be here and be myself and have fun, because so often the podcast want to put you in a box and say, we're going to talk about this topic. And it's not fun. And then the sunglasses, I brought a bunch of them. So we're going to have so much fun later tonight. Really,
I just got these, so I was like, I want to wear them.
Well, I don't know. It looks like Zach's having issues, but I'll go ahead and tell people who I am, and then we'll go from there. So I'm Julie Hruska. I am a certified high-performance coach, a high-performance strategist, and trainer. And what I do is two different things. I do personal development and professional development. So on the personal development side, I help people look at their lives, career, relationships, health, and finance to determine where you're functioning at your optimal levels and where you're not. And then I help you create a strategic plan to get from where you are right now to where you want to be. So why high performance? Because the world's largest study on performance shows that the most successful people have a set of habits that anyone in any industry can apply to perform at their optimal levels. Why would you want to do that? Because high performance is an access to creating a life you love, a life where you feel fulfilled and joyful and just like get up every day excited to live. So that's what I do on the personal development side. On the professional development side, I do corporate training and professional development coaching. So I do Legendary Leadership, which is a leadership development program, Mindset Mastery to help you get out of your own way so you can unleash your full potential. And I also do leadership development, which is so important with the high performance to really look at how you're showing up, not only for yourself in your job, but for your entire company. And then from the corporate training side, I help companies create high-performing cultures where people are engaged and energized, and really those companies that everyone is excited to be a part of. So that's what I do. Thanks for having me, Jessica. And hello, everyone that's here.
Well, fair enough. My name is just Jessie, but I know we didn't, talk names.
Yeah, I know we didn't have a lot of time, so I'll call you Jessie from here on out.
How do I pronounce your last name?
It's Hruska. It's a silent H. It's like a kangaroo.
It's beautiful. All right. Well, since we don't have Zach here, we'll jump into his intro, once he's able to get here. Let me turn this clock off because you did a beautiful job getting that under 2 minutes. Some people can't.
I'm a high performance coach, so I'm all about like you set something in front of me, I'm going to get it.
I love that. Well, I'm going to set your first topic in front of you. If you don't mind, could you kick us off? And I know it's, cultivating your authentic presence, but I was mentioning a little before I brought you on that I've talked to several coaches, and a lot of them will say, I focus primarily on Facebook. And I know there are people here on Facebook, especially coaches. But you have been really successful in building on LinkedIn. So I'd be curious if as a coach, you could tell some of our audience about, how you cultivated your authentic presence on LinkedIn and why you did so.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to cultivating my authentic presence, when I was looking at branding my coaching, I was like, I don't want to be boxed. I don't want to have to be someone I'm not. And I don't want to be just one part of my personality. So when it comes to branding, I was like, I just want to be who I am, right? And I am a kick-ass high performance coach. And I show up and I'm a little irreverent. I'm a little sassy, and that's who I am. So when it came to building my brand, why I chose LinkedIn is because I looked at the demographics of the different platforms. And I am not one of those coaches that just calls you and says like, how are you doing? Let's set some goals. I'm not an accountability coach, and I'm not just a cheerleader that pats you on the back. So when I was looking at demographics, I typically work with higher level executives and C-suite executives. And those people are on LinkedIn. Instagram, when you start looking at the demographics of Instagram, a lot of those people aren't even employed. They're a younger audience. And then the people that aren't on there as much. So the demographics of LinkedIn aligned with my audience and where my potential clients were. That's how I decided. That's how I chose LinkedIn. And I also saw an absence of really strong coaching content that benefits the people that read it or watch my videos. Because I don't want to just create a brand for the sake of creating a brand. I actually want to have an impact. And I recognize that not everyone on LinkedIn, not everyone that follows me is going to be a client, but it helps me amplify my impact with everyone who does take time to follow me and be a part of that. So that's how I chose LinkedIn. It's been such a humbling, amazing journey. Because at the beginning of COVID, I had about 400, I believe it's 434 followers.
Oh, wow.
And I got on there. I'm a single mom. And I knew when in-person networking disappeared, that I would have to live online. I would have to kind of stake my claim online and make something happen to keep my lights on. I mean, honestly, like that's the pressure that I felt. And so I started showing up daily. I used to joke with people. I'm like, I'm living on LinkedIn until I make it a go. And I just consistently put out beneficial content, videos and posts that people could actually take and apply and become a better version of themselves. And we'll get back to that because I see Zach.
Yes,
I made
absolutely. Zach, welcome.
Thanks.
We lost you there for a second.
Yeah.
Well, since you're here now, would you mind giving us a quick 2-minute intro of yourself so then we can continue on this conversation about cultivating our personal brands?
Sure. I don't even need 2 minutes. So,
all right.
Everybody, great to be here. Thanks, Jesse. I'm Zach Messler. I help founders and their teams attract a buying audience with what to say and how to say it. I spent 20 years in product marketing for enterprise tech. And today I'm just having fun. That's what it's all about. Attracting a buying audience, having a good time.
And that's it from the messaging guy. Talk about message clarity.
Right? Clear and concise.
Thank you so much for that, Zach. And thank you so much for being here. I love the screen behind you. It's so fun.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, you were talking a little bit about personal branding and cultivating on LinkedIn. I love your story about being a single mom and starting with 430 followers during COVID and being like over 80,000 now, almost 90,000.
We're at like over 88,000 right now. And you know what's really cool about it is these are actual real people. And the reason I say that is because there is a thing that people do. I don't know if the audience knows it, but I know it. And actually, there are very big influencers who encourage this, which is buying followers, buying likes. But I'm very proud that each and every one of my followers and connections is actually a real person that actually engages and watches my, reads my posts, watches my videos. That means a lot to me because I'm not on there for vanity. I'm there to build a business and grow a business. And so for me, when people take the time to hit that like button or take time to engage, that's so important because I am there to get together and connect with my clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's really great. Wondered where you went there for a second, Zach.
Zach, you're all over the place. You're like magic.
I was writing notes because Alexa said there's nothing better than clear and concise. And I want to talk about that because I think there is something better than clear and concise. Those are important, certainly important, but you can do better than just clear and concise.
Oh, yeah? What would be better than that?
Connection, right? Clear is being understood, but clarity is about being perfectly understood. So we can talk about this now, or we can talk about this after we talk personal branding for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, connection kind of leads into it from personal branding, but I couldn't agree with you more, Julie, about being concise on LinkedIn, and I haven't been doing it, as long as you. I think about a year and a half now I've been posting pretty consistently. Last year I did 365 posts.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I saw something about that when I was like researching you and I'm like, that is mind blowing because I did during COVID. I posted Monday through Friday. Sometimes I did on weekends and then I realized I was burning myself out. So like kudos to you for going all the way through because that is not easy. People don't understand it's not about just creating amazing content. It's also about engaging those posts and engaging with other people to really come together and have that connection.
Definitely. And it's not a quick result. If you're looking for a fast result or a quick sale, then, this isn't really it. You have to understand that this is about building your brand. You called it cultivating your personal presence or personal branding. Like that's really what it is. And that grows your exposure. And then you're closing the trust gap with your buyers and you don't even realize it, but it does take time.
Yeah, it does. And when we talk about authentic presence it goes back to that clarity, that conciseness, that connection. I focus on clarity first, because clarity to me is the foundational element of all success. And it's no different with personal branding. So with clarity, before you even begin your brand, or if you've done it, you can circle back now and ask yourself these things, right? Clarity on who you are, how you want to relate to others, and what you want to create in the world. So it's so important to know who you are and really be grounded and steeped in that and what you're doing. You know, why are you there? And then how do you want to relate to people? Like on your show, you want to relate to people in a fun way, right?
Yeah.
There are some business podcasts that are very serious, and that's how they choose to relate to people. And neither one is right or wrong. It's just what's authentic to you. And then looking at what you want to create in the world. What's your purpose? What's your passion? What is this all about? When you get to the end of your life and people look back on your journey, what are they going to say about the impact you've had?
Oh, that's a really great point. And you can't really have that impact or make that connection without being clear and concise, right, Zach? So I think that kind of leads into the next topic. So from messaging chaos to messaging clarity. And just for the record, I didn't post every single day. There are some days I would post multiple times a day, but I do take breaks. And, you know, I think that's good. Take a break every once in a while. But like,
don't discount that. That 3.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But I'm not one of those people that says I have to post every day. You know what I mean? Because if I miss a day, it's okay. Like I missed Monday, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it, even though everyone's like, that's the biggest day for engagement.
Yeah, I usually don't post on weekends. Sometimes I do when I think into something, but I usually don't post on weekends.
Yeah. Well, I was just taking, you know, another day after Mother's Day and gave myself a little time. But when I am posting, I want to make sure that I'm not being chaotic in what I'm saying and I'm having some clarity. So what would you suggest in all that?
Messaging chaos comes from the focus, right? Where's your attention? And especially in the tech world, a lot of the attention is almost always inward, right? We're talking about our product. We're talking about our amazing platform. We're talking about our success and our clients, and our CEO, isn't she wonderful? All of this, us, me. And that's where you get chaos, because messaging is about connecting with your audience, no matter where they are on that path to purchase. So I said before, I spent 20 years in product marketing for enterprise tech. What product marketing is, it's the highest level. It's connecting the value of our product, whatever that is, a product, a service, even an idea, with the cares, the wants, the needs, the desires of a target audience through channels and through capabilities. Those channels, you know, it's marketing, it's sales, it's customer success. It could be recruiting, different areas within the business. Capabilities, positioning. So how do we want to show up in the minds of our buyers? Messaging, what do we say? Copy, how do we say it? And then all the other capabilities you can think of in marketing, in sales, in customer success, outbound, inbound, digital, video, whatever. That's product marketing. But it doesn't happen well if you're focused inward. It's not about you. Product marketing is kind of a misnomer. It could be called audience marketing, because you have to know, almost become your audience, right? If you can become your audience, you can better connect with them. And when you do that and you look at the world from their perspective, this is the number one thing. If you take nothing else from listening to me spout here, it's this. The perspective of your audience, taking the perspective of your audience is the number one most important thing when it comes to messaging. What we think as sellers, as marketers, as founders is interesting. It's completely irrelevant. It's what matters. What matters is what our audience thinks. What's our audience's opinion? How do they connect with this? And as soon as you start looking at it that way, your messaging can't help but improve. Last thing here, before I guess we open it up or whatever, is think of it as a building, right? If you're standing on the top floor of a building and looking down. You have a totally different perspective if you're on the 10th floor. And you have a totally different perspective on the 10th floor as if you do if you're on the bottom. Where's your audience? What's their perspective? Look at the world from their perspective. Your messaging can't help but get more clear to them.
That was pretty powerful.
I love that, Zach. And I'd like to add no emotional vomiting. Oh my gosh. Like when you're sharing from your authentic space, that doesn't mean that you share every single thing in your life, right? You still have to think about, like Zach was saying, your audience. And what are you sharing and why are you sharing it? If you're sharing something personal, it's because maybe you've learned a lesson that your audience can learn from, or you're doing it for a connection, right? But you don't just like get on there and rave and rant about whatever you feel like, because that's not aligned and congruent with your brand most of the time.
Well, that's true in personal branding, and that's true in just messaging in general for companies, right? What's the purpose of me saying this thing? There has to be a purpose there. If there's no purpose there, then you're wasting everyone's time and you're hurting yourself. You're hurting your brand.
Absolutely. And so many companies we can see that have done these things, or their CEOs have said inappropriate things. You can look at sports teams, right? There's so many times this happens, and it's like, why would you do that? You're so I like want to reach through the screen and shake them and be like, what were you thinking? And then I wonder who was managing them as well. Like,
But the other thing too, and after we break, I'll talk about this in a lot more detail, but we can't confuse that type of sharing with emotion in messaging, because emotion in messaging, thinking about what you're saying, right? Emotion in messaging is absolutely critical. And if you can figure out how to do that, how to evoke feeling from your audience, oh my gosh, that's a killer. It's the killer message is all about invoking emotion.
Yes. 100%. My coach trainer, my mentor always said, get emotion or die trying.
That's really interesting. And that's what a lot of people try to do on sales calls too, right? Is figure out that pain point and get to the emotion. And so really our messaging, it kind of goes for both teams, and we can even align on it. Wouldn't you say, Zach? I mean, in terms of like, in terms of message clarity and messaging in general, how would you suggest sales and marketing teams use that to align their efforts?
Sure. So it's using emotion and looking at feeling as part of the whole process of getting to the right message, right? It has to be authentic. If in sales, you're looking to figure out what the pain is, you find out what the pain is and you're poking and you're poking and you're poking, it better be the real pain. And if it's not, and you're making something up because it sounds good, or because someone in marketing thought it sounds good, well, that might not land so well. It has to be real. When you think of clarity, right? Clarity, everybody will tell you clarity is about being simple. Oh, we got to be simple with our message. That is not so. That is absolutely not so. Being simple helps for sure, but that's like saying to drive my car, I need to make sure I have 4 wheels, 4 tires, right? There's more to it. Simple is good, but it's clarity of message, of course. It's clarity of audience. Julie talked a little about this, like who are we talking to, right? Clarity of audience. It's clarity of offering. What is it that we're selling? I had a mentor back in the day who said, what's in the box? I'd come to him with all these ideas. He's like, this is great, Zach, but what's in the box? What are we selling here? So clarity of offer, clarity of outcome. I guess clarity of problem comes before clarity of outcome. Clarity of problem, clarity of feeling. So you have a problem, okay? If I have a problem in my job, in my work, there is something that happens because of that problem. What is the outcome of having that problem? What is the impact of having that problem? What is the feeling that comes from having that impact. It's deep. It's not difficult to understand. It's difficult to get to. So, I mean, already you're looking here. Simple is about clarity of message, but we've talked about clarity of message, clarity of audience, clarity of problem, clarity of outcome, clarity of solution, clarity of feeling. All these different ways that we need to be clear and to be perfectly understood. So being simple is good, but being simple is just one piece of it.
Being perfectly understood, man, I really, really like that. And, you know, we could get into a little bit more on clarity and messaging, and we will right after these messages.
Hey there! In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a WordPress website using the Divi theme. So years ago, when I first wanted to build a website, I was so lost when trying to figure out what I needed, which settings were important, and what tools to use. I really wanted someone to walk me through step by step and to show me which buttons to push. I was able to find someone to support me through that, and I wanted to extend that same level of support to you to help you get started on the right foot. So in this video, we're going to go over how to connect your domain and hosting, installing WordPress, installing a premium theme that I love called Divi, and important plugins that I install on every single website, and then what settings to use for those plugins as well as the theme. So if at any point you're thinking to yourself, it'd be so cool if someone would just do this for me, you can just pause the video at that point and scroll down so you see my guided DIY package. And I'm happy to set all this up, plus assist you as you build your website.
Hi, I'm Valerie Christine, and I'm so happy to be here on Whiskey Wednesday. I help women break free from stored trauma so they can be successful. If you've ever known how to do something, you had all the strategies, but you still weren't successful at it, it might be because of stored trauma. This can come up in the form of procrastination, self-doubt, people-pleasing, not having clear boundaries with yourself and with others. And often people look for the answer outside of themselves, but it's usually within. So if you're finding yourself struggling to succeed and you know what to do, you have a list of what to do, but you're just not able to get yourself to do it, reach out to me on Instagram at Heal with Valerie, and that's Heal with Valerie. I would love to talk with you and see in what ways we can support you to get to where you really want to be.
Awesome. Thank you to Valerie and Brittany. If you are here in the comments and you're connected with them, please tag them and give them a little love. Thank you both. Brittany does have a really great website service. I've been working with her. She helps me a lot. But with all of that, let's continue this conversation and go beyond the words, Zach. The art of clear messaging.
All right.
So
yeah.
we talked about clarity. Now tell us about how do we get clear? And, you know, we're going to be going back into personal branding here in a second too. You know, how can we be clear about our own selves and our own, and be clear about who we are? And, you know, so not just product marketing, but just general messaging as well.
Sure. Well, the good thing is messaging in general, it's foundational. And part of the problem or challenge that I've had as a business owner is this works for anything, right? I mean, when you learn a way to get clear with your audience, with your message, right? Get clear with your audience, get clear with your offering, all these things, you can apply it to anything. So what happened to me was I figured this out early on as product marketing guy in tech, right? I'm not technical at all. I've never been technical in my life. And I needed to be able to understand the product and dive deep into seriously complex features and understand them so that I could market them, so I could teach them to sales, so I could demo them. I was supposed to be the expert in the product and the expert in the audience. And when you're not technical working in tech, well, you know, kind of a challenge. And so people used to laugh at this, but I was a philosophy major in college, and I leaned in on Aristotle, and Aristotle talks about essence, right? And essence, and this is a mind bender, I'm just warning you, but essence, when you define what is essence, the essence of something is that thing that makes that thing be that thing. And so I came up with 3 questions. to get to the essence of the product or the essence of the feature or the essence of anything that we're talking about. And those 3 questions, they're super simple. I call them big rock questions. What is it? So this thing that we're talking about, what is it? At its core, what is it? What does it do? Again, at its essence, at its core, what does it do? And then why does it matter? Not why does it matter to me, thinking about what we were saying before, perspective, why does it matter to my target audience? So, for example, on Whiskey Wednesday, this glass is holding some whiskey. This glass is called a Glencairn glass. What is it? Right? If I'm explaining this glass to someone, it's hard to explain. How do you explain a Glencairn glass? It's a cylindrical container made out of glass, especially used for whiskey sipping. That's what it is, right? So or a tumbler, right? What's a tumbler, right? It is also a cylindrical glass, a cylindrical container made out of glass intended for sipping whiskey. What does it do? It holds whiskey. Why does it matter? Well, when you're on a show like Whiskey Wednesday, it's kind of uncouth to come with a bottle of whiskey and open it up and just start sucking it back, right?
No, it isn't, Zach. I really
for it, Zach. Let's do it.
You have your Glencairn glass, which adds a little bit of sophistication if you put your pinky out. It's designed especially for whiskey drinkers, so I can get the aroma of the whiskey and it enhances the experience. That's really what does it do for the Glencairn? It enhances the experience of sipping whiskey.
Wow, that is clear, but I don't know if it's concise.
Well, that's right. That's right. but messaging, you got to remember though, this is important too.
But it did make me feel something.
No, seriously, this is a distinction that these things overlap, and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around this. Messaging is not copy. Messaging is what you say. And yeah, Alexa, it has a tulip shape. I like that. I'm using that next time. So messaging is what you say. Copy, at least in the written word or typed word, copy is how you say it. So when people say, get it simple, what usually they're talking about is the copy, not the message. I can say something one way, right? I can say to you, okay, what's the message here? The message here is, this is a glass for sipping whiskey. It accentuates the whiskey sipping experience. That's the message that I want to get across. But how I say that, oh my gosh, have you checked out this Glencairn glass? Man, it makes whiskey smell great. That's copy. It's accentuating the experience, but I'm not going to say to my audience, it accentuates the experience.
Beautifully said.
You know, who's going to connect with that?
Yeah. I kind of want to take on a glass like that now.
I'm curious, what is the essence of that? Because you were talking about essence. And I was like, well, I want to know the essence.
The essence of this is the shape, right? It's made out of glass. I mean, that's what we're trying to get to by answering these questions. So what is it? It is a tulip. Thank you, Alexa. It is a tulip-shaped container made out of glass that accentuates the whiskey sipping experience.
So I would like to know, because I don't drink whiskey, I would like to know the essence of the flavor, Zach.
Oh, this one. Okay. So we are on Whiskey Wednesday. I was going to wait till the after party for this. So this is a Bardstown Bourbon collaborative series. This is done with Founders Brewing. It is straight bourbon whiskey finished in Founders KBS aged stout barrels. So the essence of flavor here is rich. If you think of a stout beer, right? A stout beer, it's really dark. It's super flavorful, almost chocolatey. It's rich. That's what this whiskey tastes like. There's a little bit of chocolate notes in there. It's super rich. It feels heavier than most whiskeys. It's quite good. It is quite good.
Beautiful.
Cheers.
That is
Cheers
beautiful.
to Whiskey Wednesday. I would love to
Thank
hear
you.
from the audience what everybody is drinking tonight. But yeah, anything you would like to add on what Zach was saying about having a clear message?
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, clarity of who you are, and also your audience, clarity of your audience, how you want to relate and what you want to create goes to the messaging, right? What are you trying to create with your messaging? Every single time you create content and you push that post button, what are you trying to accomplish? You need to have that clear. Otherwise, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall, and nobody wants to eat spaghetti off the wall.
That's true. And if your goal is just to get a whole bunch of impressions, then maybe you can make a really clear shit post. What do you think, Zach? You remember talking about the shit post?
That's totally right. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Blast from the past.
Blast from the
You
past.
gotta fill me in. I don't know the shit post.
Yes.
Oh,
so
what you do. What you do.
It's just like, doesn't really offer any value, but it's like maybe 5 words or less, maybe 10 words or less, just very short. So it gets a lot of exposure. And you might even get a whole bunch of comments, but
with the cat video,
yeah,
the cats,
cat video,
the koala bears. I'm like, they're so adorable. And yet there are people I have connected with, really great people. I adore them as humans. However, I don't have any idea what they actually do. I have no idea what they do because they post, sometimes they have a cat playing with a little dog. Sometimes they have koala bears. Sometimes they have people running races. And I'm like, I love your videos. They are really entertaining and they would be great somewhere out in the world. But for your personal brand, especially on LinkedIn, I'm like, why are you doing that? What is the point?
That's the thing that I think some people just lose sight of. Everything you do on social media, if you're trying to create a personal brand, everything you do, from what you comment to what you like to what you post to whether you're there or you're not, says something about you. And this is all positioning, right? So what is positioning? Positioning is, how do I want to show up from a personal brand perspective? Mm-hmm. How do I want to show up in the minds of my intended audience? If I'm posting cat videos half the time, that's how I'm showing up.
You're the cat man.
Yeah, like, come on. Now, look, if you want to be the cat man and, or cat woman or whatever, and you want to post cat videos all the time, make it your thing. Awesome. But then make it your thing.
Right.
But if you're posting wackadoodle videos that don't really add any value all the time, that's what you're going to be known for.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
and unfortunately, those are the people that then say, oh, LinkedIn didn't work for me or Facebook didn't work for me. And it's like, is it actually the platform? Those are the people that blame the algorithms. It's like, oh my gosh, the algorithms. The truth is, if you want to be algorithm proof, then you have to have quality content consistently. And yes, the algorithms, we have no control over that. But what you do have control over is your quality of what you post and what you share.
Absolutely. Kate Irwin says, this reminds me of how my only viral video is of a dead raccoon.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is it depends, right? If you're using LinkedIn for business, or you're using LinkedIn to generate interest, awareness, leads, anything like that, it's not about the going viral. Going viral is terrible for that. You get a bunch of likes, a bunch of people who are never going to buy a single thing following you. And then talk about algorithm, then it messes with everything, right? Yeah. That's why being purposeful is way more important.
And
the being purposeful goes beyond the branding and your messaging to actually who you connect with as well. People are always like, oh, wow, you have this great audience. And I love my audience. I'm so grateful for all the people in it. But when you're connecting with people, you want to be strategic in who you connect with. You want to connect with your potential clients. You want to connect with other content creators who inspire you and empower you. And the rest can just You know, they can follow you, but you don't have to take the time to connect with them. Honestly, I know people that are crushing it with really small audiences because they were very intentional about creating it.
Yeah, no, those really great points. And wow, we could really get into this some more. And I loved how you said, you know, beyond words, because that was really the title of this topic, Beyond Words, the Art of Clear Messaging. It really does go beyond words. But, you know, I want to transition. You were talking about the algorithm, but I loved the idea of talking about living in alignment and also embodying your personal brand for sales and marketing success. So what can you leave our audience with tonight on this topic, especially with just living in alignment? Like, how do we get there, Julie?
Yeah, so it's so important, going back to the foundation of clarity, getting really clear on who you are and how you want to show up in the world. So before you have a brand, you're a person, right? The whole personal brand, you're a person. What is your passion and what is your purpose? Why are you waking up each and every day and doing what you do? You have to get clear on that. Before anything else, you have to get clear on who you are, where you are now, and where you want to be in the areas of your career, relationships, health, and finance. Why is that important? Because you're a whole person. And like Zach was saying, when you comment, right? It's not just your post. When you comment, when you show up, when people meet you in person, you don't want to just have one little sliver of you. You want to be all of you. So you have to be clear on who your best self is and do that work, that personal development work, to cultivate that, to become that person. I haven't always been exactly who I am today. I have created myself to be the person that I want to be and to live the life that I want to live. So when I get out there and I'm talking about high performance and I share from my personal experience, it is real, it's authentic, it's connected, because it's my life. And that's so important. That authentic presence isn't just how you woke up 5 years ago and you just stay that person. It's who do you actually want to be? Who do you want to be? And then are you doing the work to become that? So that comes before branding. Then when you align who you are in all those areas, your whole self, when you align that with what your product is or what your service is, that's what's so important. So you need to connect who you are, and you need to be clear on who you are and what your purpose is, what your passion is, and then your connection to your product. So say I was selling hair care, right? I actually just got this new product. I absolutely love it. And it kind of glazes. I think they described it on Instagram, which I don't do a lot on, but I love Instagram for products like that. And it described it as your hair will be like, it will have glaze like a glazed donut. And I'm like, okay, I don't want that feeling of a glazed donut on my head, but I knew exactly what they meant. I'm like, ooh, it's going to be so shiny and pretty. And I love it. I got it yesterday. I love the product. And so that's really effective, right? I could authentically sell that product now because I've used it and I love it. But if you gave me wine or whiskey, I don't drink. So I would be inauthentic if I tried to sell you whiskey. Like Zach was explaining his whiskey, it would fall flat on my audience because they know that I don't drink.
Wouldn't be authentic for you.
Wouldn't be authentic for me.
And when you're trying to help your clients, you know, find their alignment and live in alignment, what would be some of those questions you might have them ask themselves?
I really like to start with a vision of like their ideal life. So it's one of those drawing inward, you know, close your eyes. I have a background in yoga, meditation, and mindfulness. So I like to do a lot of visualization with my clients. So I invite people to close their eyes, and we can do it now. You want to do it?
Do it. I'm going to do it.
We'll do just a really, really quick, like a 2-minute one. So I invite you all to close your eyes.
All right, here we go.
Sit up nice and tall, get your feet grounded. Take a few deep inhalations from the base of your spine up toward the crown of your head. And exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale, release. And continue taking those nice deep breaths. Inhaling from the base of your spine toward the crown of your head. And exhale, releasing. And as you soften, allow all of the noise, all of the chaos, all of the distractions to melt away. And I want you to imagine it's December 27th, 2023, the end of the year. You have accomplished everything that you meant to accomplish and more. You've exceeded your expectations. Now you are going to surround yourself with the things that you love. You're about to get on a private jet. You can go anywhere in the world with whoever you want. I want you to visualize who is with you, who's going to get on that jet with you. Where do you want to go? What are you going to pack up? And now visualize yourself pulling up to that private jet, getting out of that limo or whatever amazing, sexy car you want to drive. Who's getting out with you? Picture them. What do they look like? And what is the feeling? How do you feel? Are you excited? Are you eager? Are you relaxed? Whatever it is. And now get into the plane, sit down, doors closed, take off. And as you're flying, you're relaxed, you're happy, you're excited, whatever that feeling is. Now I want you to look out the window. Where are you going? What does it look like? And I would go on, but I don't want to for the sake of time. I would go on to land you there and have you visualize, taste it. What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Right? For me, it's always the beach. It's always the beach. I'm in the Caribbean, turquoise waters, turquoise, this Tiffany's box, like that.
Yes.
Turquoise. Oh my gosh. I'm there. The warm sun is beating down on my face. I'm relaxed. I'm amazed. And I am with someone that I love dearly. And that, to me, that vision, now we work backwards from that. So who are you going to be to get you there? Right?
Yes.
Who do you need to be? What version of yourself do you need to be to get to that point?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that was so great. And I'd love to hear from the audience too. If anyone actually sat there and did that with us, plug it in and let us know. I love that type of practice. Thank you so much for that.
So that's just a quick, when I'm actually with a client, we do it a lot longer, but for the sake of time, the idea of it is visualize what you want. It might be the end of this year, it might be 5 years from now, and then pull back, right? Pull back and say, okay, here I am today. Here's where I want to go. What version of myself does it take to get there? And then what do I have to do? So with your work, with your career, with your branding, your messaging, what do you need to convey? What do you need to do? What does the content need to convey to close the business, to get the clients, right? Bring them in, make the money you need to make. And some people, they don't care about money, right? Maybe they're not getting on a private jet. Maybe they could give two shits about that. Maybe they simply want to walk down the street and sit and look at a mountain. And that's awesome, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? Picture it. And what do you need to do to get there? And what version of yourself gets there? So that, again, it's authentic. It's what you want. It's why you're here. It's that purpose. It's that passion, who you are, how you're going to relate to your audience comes next, and then what you want to create in the world.
Man, that was really great. Anything before I ask one more question, Zach, anything you would chime in on living in alignment or that practice we just did?
Boom, shaka, laka.
Boom, shaka laka.
So much fun. So much fun. And when I'm on the beach, of course, I don't post videos of cats, but I have a huge collection of cat eye sunglasses. Some people say it's bougie, but that's authentic to me. So, maybe I just have to acknowledge I'm a little bit bougie, and I'm okay with that.
That's okay. I'm a little bit bougie as well. I like that.
Perfect.
So in terms of so now we're living in alignment. We figured out how to live in alignment with ourselves. So once we get there, embodying our personal brand for sales and marketing success. So now how do we take that from living in alignment to really embodying it?
Yeah. So everything you do. So for me, what's authentic, right, is being a high performer, being my best self. And then I love to travel, right? So my content, I take people with me. Last year, I took my 2 younger kids to Europe with me. And so I was creating content, sharing those pictures. It's like, while I was out doing this, I thought about this related again to high performance and how other people, it's not just here I am on vacation. It's while I was on vacation, I was thinking about this. And, the reason that I work so hard is to be able to take my kids on these kind of vacations, to expose them to the different cultures and languages and types of people. That is one of my reasons. That's one of my whys. What's your why? Right? So you see how I did that? I shared from myself, but I'm relating to other people by inviting them to participate. And that's important in content too.
Yes. And Cindy says living in alignment is crucial to having more joy in life. And she couldn't be more right.
Absolutely. Why would you want to have to be someone else? And that's what's so sad. Zach and I talked about this yesterday. We had a call ahead of time, and I was talking about the people that they're paying to have a fake car. They're running a car for an hour to get pictures in, and then they go back to their Pinto. I don't even know if that's still a thing, but what I mean? There's wasn't there a car called Pinto way back? I don't know. Maybe it's a crappier car. Okay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you actually own a Lamborghini, good for you. Drive your freaking Lamborghini. Have fun with it. But if you don't, why are you paying money to rent that car to impress people? That is ridiculous. I actually go to Europe, but I don't green screen Europe and take fake pictures. That's ridiculous. That's not who you really are. Stop that. People now, at the beginning when influencers first came around, people didn't know all these tricks. Now people see right through it. I saw someone recently, they had a glass, they were on their private jet, and part of their arm was missing because they were photoshopped in, and they did a terrible job photoshopping. And it's that is so sad to me, because it's not who you actually are. And the cost of that, the cost of not living aligned and congruent with who you are, it will cause burnout. It will cause depression. There is such a high cost to inauthentic personal branding that I really hope every single person watching this will just stop and think about that, right? Stop, think about it.
If you had a mint condition 1972 Ford Pinto with about 4,000 miles.
It wasn't born in 72. I don't know.
It might be worth a Lamborghini. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I know. I feel. I was just. That's the first thing that popped into my head was an old car.
That is Gen X for the win.
Gen X for the win. Way to go. I love it.
And I mean nothing, and I apologize if anyone's a Pinto lover. The point is, if you drive car A and you're pretending you are in car B, stop. Just be yourself. You will find your tribe. If you're inauthentic, people will see right through you, and you'll fail.
Find your tribe. Put your sunglasses on live, and whoever else does, you'll find that they're a part of your tribe. I think we talked about that on your original Whiskey Wednesday, Zach, is we talked about finding your tribe, putting yourself out there authentically. And when you do so, there will be haters, but that's okay, because you'll also find your tribe.
That's right. That's right.
If people don't like international travel and cat eye sunglasses, if they don't like my blonde hair, I've been told all this crap from other coaches, like, oh, you can't do that. You need to tone your image down. You need to pull your hair back. Maybe you should wear your glasses to make yourself look smarter. I'm like, I have a 4.0 in my master's. I don't need to appear smart. My brain and the words I put out there will be enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, well, if you guys haven't entered to win a couple prizes, make sure that you're doing so. I'm just going to put them up here. It looks like you had one more thing to say. Go for it, Zach.
Yeah, I just want to add, I saw Chris Bogue said that Pintos were recalled and they ended because they exploded, and he is 100% right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right. It was the gas tank, 100% right, which is why if you have a mint condition 1972 Ford Pinto, it's probably worth a lot of money, and it's
Zach,
probably
do you have a Pinto?
Be in your garage.
I think Zach drives a Pinto.
I think Zach has a Pinto, and I hit a nerve because I didn't know my audience. Is that right?
Oh my goodness.
I love it. If you drive a Pinto, put hashtag Pinto in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Otherwise, it looks like on these prizes, we've got 7 entries on hashtag data, 9 entries on hashtag cold calling, 7 entries on Proposify, and 7 entries on Whiskey Wednesday. So if you have not entered to win, I mean, there's some pretty good odds there. Better get that going because we're going to, wrap this up here in just a second. But before we do prizes, we've got the guru of the week. The guru of the week. Oh, and I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to ask you both, who is this week's guru of the week? We've got 3, 2, and 1.
Dale Dupree.
Dale Dupree.
Dale Dupree.
We love Dale. Dale is super authentic. He leads the sales rebellion, and he talks all about living your best life, and he actually lives it. Like recently, he and his wife had a child, and he's like, I'm taking time off. And he took time off, and he did post a picture of his baby recently, and he's like, hey, I've been taking time off. Good for him. And I just love that, he's leading the way in his authentic marketing and sales rebellion. He's telling people, all of those cut and paste, cookie cutter scripts and things, like stop that, be authentic, connect, right? Be clear, be concise, connect. And that's one of the reasons that I suggested Dale Dupree and Zach and I and all of us came together.
Yeah, and Dale shows up. You talk about positioning, right? Dale shows up intentionally as Dale, right? He'll do personal posts and you know who he is. He'll share about his faith and you know who he is. But he'll also talk about his business, and he'll talk about how to live a life this way and how to be a better salesperson by joining the rebellion and doing things differently. And Dale, here's to you, Bubba.
Yeah, cheers to Dale Dupree. If you're here watching, could you please tag Dale Dupree? Let's blow him up in the comments. And I need to reach out to him because I think he'd be a really great guest. I think he needs to come on Whiskey Wednesday. So if you're in the audience and you think he'd be a great guest on Whiskey Wednesday, again, please tag him. Let's spam him a little bit. Send him some love from Whiskey Wednesday. But wow, this conversation was really great. And before we get into prizes, is there any last comments you all would like to leave with the audience on personal branding, living in alignment, message clarity, anything we talked about?
You know what I'm going to say?
I don't know.
The number one most important thing when it comes to a clear message is the perspective of your audience. It's not being simple. It's not getting clear. It's understanding the perspective of your audience. If you understand the perspective of your audience, you know it inside, outside, upside down, you can connect with that perspective of your audience.
And I would say with authentic presence, with your authentic personal branding, own who you are without apology. Like go out there, be bold and courageous, share what you love, who you are, relate and connect with your people, and really be intentional about what you want to create in the world. And your vibe will attract your tribe and you will crush it.
That is really awesome. Well, thank you both so much for sharing that. And let's go ahead and give away some prizes. I'm going to go ahead and share my tab because I don't know why it doesn't let me share my screen anymore. But let's do the first one. So first one was hashtag data. I'm going to pull this up here and let's see who is going to win. I'm going to go ahead and click draw. We've got 10 names in there. There's Jesse, Tom, Natalie, Elizabeth, Carly. Natalie, congratulations. You won. Prize one, Natalie. And let me make sure I am pulling up here. You probably won't be able to click this, but I will drop this link for any prize winners. If you could fill out this form, it'll help me connect you with the brands. After the show, in the next 24 hours, we'll send an email to connect you via email. So congratulations, Natalie. Let's do prize number 2, which was cold calling. All right, we've got 11 entries. Who's it going to be? Maybe Tom, maybe Jesse, maybe Kate, Carly, Alexa, Elizabeth, Dean, Natalie, Alexa. Congratulations. Yay. I think Alexa's been trying for a while now to win a headset, but tonight is her lucky night. That is amazing. And let's go ahead and give away prize number 3 from tonight's sponsor, Proposify. So big shout out to Proposify. Thank you for making tonight possible. Proposify. Yes. Show the shirt, Zach.
Oh, it's awesome. Nadia is the best. Nadia and her team. They sent me a hoodie, closing show live hoodie. It's amazing. What a great company.
Cool. Yes, Proposify. Use them. They're one of my favorite tools. We've got Tom, we've got Mark, maybe Kate, maybe Lauren, Alexa. This is for the Proposify swag pack. Going to Kate Irwin. It is your lucky day, Kate Irwin. She may or may not work for a Proposify competitor. I'm not sure. And I'm going to give away this last gift. Let's just get right into it. Whiskey Wednesday. We've got 9 entries. This is a big one. It's basically $2,000 worth of prizes because it's 2 $1,000 courses or coaching sessions. Brittany, you are the winner of tonight's big prize. Congratulations to Brittany. Oh, I'm so excited. Wow. Since you guys are both here, do you want to share a little bit about those prizes?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, please tell us. What's Brittany going to get?
All right. So Brittany, so excited. We are going to do a message clarity assessment. You're going to share with me. We're going to jump on a Zoom together. We're going to take a look at whatever messaging you want to take a look at, whether that's for you personally, for your LinkedIn, for your company, whatever it is. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to measure that. We're going to look at clarity of offer. We're going to look at clarity of audience, clarity of problem, of solution, of feeling. And then I'm going to give you some recommendations so that you can, no matter how good it already is, so you can make it even better. And then if you are either a whiskey fan or a willing whiskey trier, I don't know if you can see behind me, I have a whole case of whiskey here. I'm going to send you a few different samples of some exquisite whiskeys. I do a Friday toast every week with one of these whiskeys where in gratitude, I just think of the people who made my week special. And then I pour a glass of an exquisite whiskey and I make a toast in their honor. So you will get some of that exquisite whiskey as well, if you'd like it.
That is amazing. And tell us about yours.
So Brittany, and this is something that other people can also reach out and create. This is a high performance intensive. So it's a 90-minute session where we dive deep into the areas of career, relationships, health, and finance, the whole self, and examine where Brittany, this time around, is functioning at her optimal levels and where she's not. And then we will have that. We'll have that vision, right? Where does Brittany want to go? And we will create a strategic plan to get her from where she is now to where she wants to be. And then by the end of that session, she or anyone else that reaches out and has one of these strategy sessions has a plan, right? And that's what's so important, because you would not, well, some people go on road trips without a plan, but if you want to go from North Carolina to California, you need a map, right? You need a GPS. Well, that's what this is. So many people go through life without a plan. And when you have a plan, you can follow it and you can kick some ass. So that's what I'm going to do with Brittany. That's what I can do with anyone else too. And it's really so important. Like we talked about, you know, you've got to have clarity on who you are, how you want to show up in the world, and where you want to go.
Yeah. If you see yourself staying in the same spot and you don't know why, maybe this would be something that would be really great for you. Yeah. And, you know, same with your product marketing messaging. I know for a lot of tech companies, they have a hard time talking about the things that we talked about tonight. It's all about feature, 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 feature. Totally. And we didn't get into like, hey, don't do that. But like, hey, don't do that. Contact Zach.
Don't do that. No one gives a shit about your product until they do. No one cares. They don't care. No one cares. You have to make them care first. Now, at some point, talking about the features is important. And that's what a lot of people miss. It's just talking features and talking product is really important when it's important. That's not at the start.
Right.
Definitely. Well, I've plugged the after party link into the comments on all of the channels. For the guests, I've put it here in the private chat. I also dropped it in our group DM in case you lose it after we close this out. But we hope you can join the Google Hangout. I think both guests have agreed to come, right? You're going to be
absolutely.
Really excited.
Would have missed it.
So come on out to the Google Hangout. I know that some people were going to be coming with some Canva questions. So if anybody else wants to learn about Canva or talk Canva, we're going to be talking. I'll be answering some questions later on. But we're going to first, you know, really talk and hang out with our guests. And we'd love it if you could be there. But this was a really great conversation. And I really appreciate both of you being on the show. And I look forward to the after party.
Thank you, Jessie. It was so much fun. Thank you, Zach. I am so glad that you were like my co-guest. It's been fun. I love the energy that we created. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the after party. I did see some questions from Dean and some other people. So come to the after party and I'll be happy to answer them.
Yes, Dean, I would love to see you at the after party. Everybody else would love to see you at the after party. Join the Google Hangout. We will be there in just a moment. But thank you, everybody. And until next week, have a great Wednesday.